Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today.
Giant or somewhere in between. Round the table with your friends, playing Dungeons and Dragons. And if life ever knocks you down, your dice will surely turn around. Roll your stats, it's time to quest. Let's put your characters to the test.
Hello and welcome to Knocked Prone, a podcast of high crits, small fits, and varying wits. My name is Cade, and I am the host and game master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure. And I am joined here by the players.
Mason playing Litsea.
Brooklyn playing Litsea.
Danny playing Tess.
Caden playing Blink.
Awesome. So as we last left our adventurers, Tess, would you like to give us a rundown on what happened?
Yeah. So essentially, we were trying to work out a deal between the Hive Mother and the Artificers, which I call Crimson Guard the entire time, so I'm sorry if that's confusing. You know, we were thinking about essentially I know the Healbots as Tess. I know that the Healbots are causing lots of problems for the Hive, so I wanted to find a way for it to work out for everybody. So Blink gave him an idea where he was going to essentially try to make them go into business together, if you will, where it's like human and the robots working together. But the Hive Mother had different plans and pulled a fast one on us, claiming that she made the Healbot, essentially, and claiming ownership of it. And even though Tess is like sensitive and feels bad for the Hive, he's very stressed about like, wow, she's just gonna take this, like that's a lot. So he went to his parents, which is right where we ended off, trying to convince them to change their mind, and that's where they reveal that they're in on it and that they're not like gonna back away even with Tess' requests. I'm sure you heard that. And so we'll probably start right there with my reaction. Definitely messed with
I was expecting
Tess.
Holly. I wasn't expecting his parents.
Yeah, when the parents was in on it, that's when Tess like kind of broke for a little bit.
That's when you know it's like full on corruption, not just at the head.
So when you realize you've been part of a conspiracy, you're just like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Yeah, so your dad like nods at you and says, "Of course we know what's going on, Tess. It's for the good of the Hive."
Tess will pause for a minute and kind of like look around. What's that, Tim? Oh, Tim says he's absolutely famished and I need to get him something to eat. And then I'm just going to run out.
I told you not to give him snacks. And then like you run off.
And I run to like the park as if I'm like actually like getting like grass for Tim. And I'm just going to stay there.
At the park? So not at the church.
Yeah,
By
no,
the
so
Druids, right?
yeah, so I'm over by the Druids.
Okay.
And so like I guess just to explain it, so like I'm just gonna run and like just find a spot like under one of the trees and just be there for a while. So
you like there's a bunch of bunnies that have overtaken this park, and so you just find a nice spot in like a corner underneath a massive tree that is odd because it's not connected to the ground, but it is gigantic. And you a bunch of bunnies, kind of sensing your ill feelings, have
Fluffy.
Yeah, they come up to you right away, and you've got like a dog pile made out of a bunny pile, if you will, on your lap, pretty much. So,
Even though this is very helpful, very good self-care, I'm also gonna pull an animal out of the hat to help out.
yeah, do it. Roll me a d8.
A 1.
It is a rabbit.
Oh my gosh.
I'm still excited.
Yeah, it's different looking than the other rabbits. It is quite old, and it's got like graying whiskers. It looks very wise.
Very nice.
Yes, you could tell this rabbit's been around the block, lived in that hat bag thing for years. So, with that, I guess we'll join back with the three. Are the three of you that didn't go with Tess back at the church now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where we were heading.
Okay. When they walk in, I will have a map very similar to this laid out across. It'll probably be across multiple papers that like I have together. And as you come in, I'll say, I think I know how to prove our innocence, your father's innocence, as well as, if we can't do that, at the very least, we can prove that those blueprints are not Hive Master Holly's. Take a look at this. And so I'll take out the library and I'll say, all right, so back there in the top left is where they keep the restricted books. That's probably where we're going to need to go to find the wizard's book that they had stolen. As well, I've marked each of our names as to where our books can be found. I think it would be in our best interest to steal and destroy these so that they can no longer spy on us. I do not trust them, and I do not like the power that they have over us. Finally, we will also be able to attempt to steal Hive Master Holly's book as well as your father's. We can compare them with the timeline of events that Hive Master Holly has given to find out the absolute truth of who burned down the Clerics' temple as well as who made the blueprints. All I need is a little bit of help from you. I can distract my father easily enough, and I know the area pretty well. What I need is a diversion. At a certain point in time, I have a spell in which I will be able to cue you. But I think there are two main points that we will need to target. Here, and I'll point over by the fires, and I'll say, Blink. Well, actually, Litsea, you both have a keenness to fire. I think that we need to try to cause some kind of disturbance, make the fires roar, spread, do something. Then, Litsea, I thought this would be perfect for you, because you could make it look like an accident very easily. I would like you to stumble into a bookcase back here, causing a domino effect, allowing us to get attention away from the restricted section as I go and steal that book finally. Is everyone all right with this plan?
Yes, that sounds good to me.
Wonderful.
I think it sounds brilliant. I do have to say, at this point, within the last couple of days, we have made some more rebellious decisions than maybe we had expected we would in these days. And I think that something that goes along with that is a certain decision to create trust in each other and to have each other's backs. And the things that we do may require some amount of lying, which I just want to be able to see each of your loyalty to the decisions that we make and to be able to commit to the bit. Particularly, I would like to hear from Tess that not only that he's okay with this plan, but he's also willing to lie if needed.
And the three of you kind of notice, since Tess left first, and he said he was going to the church, it is kind of odd that he's not there.
Yes, a little concerned with that.
On a side note, speaking of rebellious decisions, this city, over the past couple days, has struck me as more and more off. Things that I never noticed. Where did those rats come from? They were normal-looking bunnies before. How do we know that if the clerics are planning on stealing stuff, if hypothetically your father burned down this church, if my father is exerting his power for absolute control over the city, who's to say that the druids are not making a weapon of their own, and the bunnies were simply hidden with magic? I'd like to investigate that later, if we can. The bunny only turned into a rat after we became hostile to it. If no one's been hostile to those bunnies before, how do we know that they are not just a colony of rats in disguise? In any case, I think it would be keen to try to watch out. I do not think any of the auras can be trusted. I do not think any of them have the intentions of the city at mind. I think they have their own selfish greed. And in my opinion, we should bring them all down. But that's besides the point.
I've been like solemnly nodding to like everything you said until that last sentence, and then I like look over at Blink. I think there's great wisdom in a lot of what you're saying, and I certainly think that we were not told the complete truth about everything that goes on within this kingdom, and there's plenty to investigate. So let's begin with what's right in front of us, and I think that we have a long list of things to adventure towards in the future.
Very well. Blink, are you all right with this plan?
Yes, I am.
Very well. I would like to establish what control over fire do you have? I saw your attack breathing the fire. Are you able to enhance fire in other ways, or do you think that would be a distraction enough?
I think I could make that work. I definitely have the ability to make a big enough distraction with my pyrotechnics.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, I do think that we should start getting over... Where is Tess, by the way?
Before we head that direction, we should certainly find him, keep him up to date, and measure his loyalty.
Very fair.
Before we leave, I'm going to say one more thing. I'm going to pull the blueprint I balled up in my pocket. I'm going to pull it out, set each, flatten out each side that I tore, and I'm going to cast Mending on it and put the blueprint back together. Now, when you... I don't know if this would really affect it. It's really up to you, Cade. So, when you repair an object with Mending, it doesn't mend any magical properties.
Right.
So if it was like a magical item, you would just bring back a regular sword, not a magical sword.
Right.
So in this case, bringing it back, did it have any effect on that illusionary spell?
So the illusionary spell is no longer there, as Hive Mother Holly is outside of the radius of the paper, and you restore it to new.
Okay, fantastic. So
It's a little crinkled, but I mean,
okay.
it's new.
So now that it's on the table, I'm just gonna slide it over to Litsea.
Genius, Blink. Genius. Do we want to look at this now, or should we just keep this secure?
Personally, I don't know what I'd glean from it, but you're welcome to take a glance over if you'd like.
Well, I actually have a bag of holding, so I think I'm going to keep it here on my person.
And maybe not take it out in front of anyone who doesn't know that we put it back together.
As far as everybody else knows, it's crumpled up into pieces and recycled.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, I do like the trouble that we're getting into, and honestly, I'm a little bit excited to see what dirty secrets we uncover even further. Shall we go?
Yes.
Yes. Let's go. Let's go find our little friend.
Okay. Can we attempt to search the city?
Everyone roll me an investigation check. Except for Tess. You can investigate a
Find
bunny
yourself.
if you like.
Find yourself under
yourself.
that.
I got a nat 20.
No way!
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 20 unnatural.
26.
Holy.
There we go.
All right. Well, the three of you have been with Tess for some time. You kind of feel like you would know where he is. Blink, the image of Tess flashes in your mind, and it's almost like you have some sort of connection, like some sort of unspoken connection with Tess, that you know exactly where he is and that he is underneath this oak tree in the corner in the park. Whereas the two of you kind of just knew more that he would probably be at the park. And so you make your way to the park and you see Tess underneath a pile of 35 bunnies.
So immediately triggered by our last encounter with the bunnies.
That is the last thing Tess needs to think about.
There's a bunch of rats all over you.
We attack one bunny and it's suddenly 1,000.
Like when you guys were talking, like when you were talking about how like some of them are rats, I was like, if Tess thought about that right now, he would die.
I know,
So
I
I'm-
was like,
I'm just gonna walk up and kind of be triggered by all these bunnies and say, Tess, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just Just taking a break.
Do you want company?
Yeah, Tim's right here. We should be pretty good.
All right.
Probably for the best.
I understand we've had a couple of long days this week. But are you okay? You seem maybe like you're struggling a little bit.
I think I'm just need a little bit to think about things.
I pull Lakir aside, whisper in his ear. I'm getting progressively concerned.
As am I. Well, let's just use this to our advantage best we can. Tess, when you are calmed down, would you mind bringing one of those rabbits back to the chapel with you?
Yeah.
We'd be happy to meet you there.
You've
For
got one
sure.
that'll follow you around. He's quite elderly, but he is a bunny nonetheless.
One of the
Yeah, I think Tess does know because now
Okay.
he's starting to remember. Although he's trying not to like actually acknowledge it, but he does get the point.
I don't know, but thank you very much. We appreciate it. As well, here, and I'll reach into my pocket and take out the honey healing potion that I was given, and I'll say, maybe this will help. And I'll hand it to him.
I'll take it.
So while they're talking about that, I'm gonna be my character is kind of more focused on these bunnies. Just kind of triggered from the last time we encountered them. So I kind of want to like cautiously walk over to like one of the, not the old bunny, but one of the regular bunnies.
Right.
And I want to pick it up and I want to like kind of move the hair away from the neck and kind of see if there's any markings like on the ones we saw before.
Roll me an investigation check with advantage.
Okay. Oh, a 1.
Good thing you have advantage.
And 13.
13. So you pick this bunny up and you look along its neck and you don't see the same hole markings that were on the other, like the dead bunnies.
Okay. Cool. So I'll just gently put it down, let it hop back to its little buddies.
Yeah.
Well, Tess, we are going to visit the library. We'll be grabbing your book if we can. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
All right. Very well. I hope you get feeling better.
Oh yeah. Me and Tim have been through worse.
All right. Well, let's go then. We're pretty near, right? Like,
Yeah.
because the Druid
Uh-huh.
Park is right next to Oleander's castle. Cool.
Yep.
So I will take the lead since I'm most familiar with the library. So if I remember correctly, the library is in Oleander's castle, and as you enter the coronation room, there's a set of stairs that goes down.
A spiral staircase. Yeah.
And so I'll lead them down there, and then is there anything else before we just enter the library?
Yeah, you get to the entrance and you go towards the spiral staircase. And the historian's library is in the basement of Oleander's grandiose castle of rainbows, of which you party members, or you guys, as well as your classmates, received your auras. And blue flames glint upon the ever-narrowing cobblestone hallway as you descend this spiral staircase that Lakir is leading you guys down. And a large set of blue doors creak open as the three of you approach the doors, and you are greeted by the smell of books, both new and old, as you enter the library, of where every person's tale, both living and dead, has been written in a book. Books as far as the eye can see. And as you enter, a tall figure approaches you with very long hair. His chin is jutted upwards, and you, Lakir, recognize this to be as your father. Your father's name is Amalek, correct? Yes. So Amalek approaches you, and he's scowling at the three of you, and he says, "I see you're getting along fine. We have no use for any more rats and Grumbopolis, let alone my library. Leave at once. And he turns 180 and like just hoofs it and like leaves you alone in this library.
Alone? There's no one else in here?
There's people.
Okay,
It is odd that there is very few people in the library at this moment. You see most of the people are gathering around they're like the historians that are gathering around and writing in their in the books around the flames, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of people perusing the shelves right now.
Okay. I'll actually, as he's kind of walking away, I want to yell after him. Just like, a very warm welcome, Amalek. I appreciate it. We're here on official business, and we will stay as long as we like. Otherwise, Oleander will hear from us. Thank you. And
he says, somebody escort them out of the building. Nobody comes to get you, but
I give you a look like wondering how quickly we can like get things into motion, like waiting.
I'll go and say, don't worry. I doubt that anyone will take action against us, and if they do, we have Oleander on our side, as well as my own personal charm. Let's proceed.
Are you walking stealthily, or are you just full guns ablazing?
I'll say, Litsea, if you would, go stand by those books. Look like you are perusing something, and if you can, try to see if you can find Hive Master Holly's file. I think they're listed alphabetically, but I'm not entirely sure. As well, Blink, if you would be willing to go over towards the fires, your book should be, if I recall correctly, halfway on the side of the bookcase closest to us. I will allow you to either try to take that or cause a distraction first, whichever you feel more comfortable with.
Okay.
As you say that to them, both Litsea and Blink, your ears start ringing a very soothing melody in your ear of this, and it is coming from the direction as to what you can assume would be where your book is placed in this library.
So I just want to say this before, just so it doesn't feel like I'm metagaming. But my character is, after like about 10 minutes of like you guys here is probably when my character will probably come and like try to come looking for you guys. I just feel like I should say that first because I feel like combat might break out, and I don't want it to feel like combat breaks out. I'm like, Tess gets this idea that he should be going to the library.
All the bunnies' ears perk up. You're like, they're in danger.
So I just wanted that entered just in case, so it doesn't seem like I'm metagaming hard.
That sounds good.
As for myself,
Lakir, your ears do not hear ringing.
Okay. I will, like, just start patrolling the shelves confidently, like, even if I can, like, making my footsteps, like, echo throughout the hallway, like, in just complete disrespect of anything my father wishes. And I will first start looking for her father's book, because I know that she's looking for Hive Master Holly's.
Okay, roll me a investigation. Also, are you doing it stealthy or are you doing it regular?
No, I am.
Okay.
I am, like, maybe if I try to take the book, I might do it stealthily, but, like, while looking for it, I'm boldly walking through. I don't care who sees me.
Okay, roll me an investigation with advantage, because you know this place.
Okay. Ooh, 15.
You peruse the shelves. It is in a different spot than you would have expected it to be, but you find it. You find Litsea's father's book.
Okay. After I spot it, I'm going to continue walking without trying to stop or hesitate. And as I am, I'm going to quickly walk to the rest of the aisle and take a look around like I'm looking for a certain section, and use that to try to see if I can see if anyone's watching, if anyone is nearby.
Again, yeah. So as you're walking around, it's really odd. You don't see your father. You don't see pretty much half the staff of the library is missing at this point, and you don't know why.
Well, I am not one to not take advantage of a situation, so I'll immediately turn around, go, and just on my way back, try to casually, without even like looking at the book, just like kitty corner it out and then pull it and tuck it under my robe.
Which book?
With her father, Litsea's father's book.
Oh, yeah. So you easily get it into your hand. It seems different than what you would have thought it would be. If you'd like to look at it, you can. But if not...
Not as of right now.
Okay.
As for me, I'll be going for Tess's. So I don't know where I would have found the book, but the next one I'm going to go for is... I'll probably actually go for mine first because I'm selfish.
Okay.
And so I'll basically just repeat the same thing. I'll go through... I'll stop occasionally and like open a book and like look like I'm actually doing some research and then put it back. Just like trying to casually do it as best I can, and work my way over to take mine and I guess Litsea's as well, since it's in the same column, if possible.
Yeah. So you kind of walking around like you own the place is pretty dang normal, and so nobody's really guessing like are they not supposed
It's
to be
been like
there?
3 days since I did this before.
Yeah. So roll me an investigation check, one with advantage, one not with advantage.
Okay. 16 for the advantage, 24 for the one without advantage.
Okay. You were easily able to find Litsea's book. However, when you go to your section, your book is gone.
I will, like, I'm pretty good at keeping a cool head and not looking like I'm up to anything. So I'll take Litsea's book, but as soon as I see that mine is missing, I will, like, actually, for the first time, like, stop and freeze. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to rack my brain for something. I know what I'll do. I'm going to, number one, what I'm going to do for, I know that my book isn't here, so I'm going to kind of calm myself and I'll be like, okay, they moved it. It's in a different section. You'll get it. The wizard's book. Next closest. And I will take out a wire from my component's pouch and point towards Litsea and say, now. And then I will do the same thing and point towards the direction that Blink is in. And I'll say, now. And wait for the pandemonium to ensue.
Yeah, like, was I able to find Holly's...
Roll me an investigation check.
22.
All right. With the 22, you kind of recall Holly looks like a decently older woman, and you kind of are able to... You're definitely able to guess the exact year that she was born. So you go towards that bookshelf and you peruse it for a little while, and it's not there. There seems to be a hole missing where that book would have been.
Okay, well, I think I just sort of start to assume maybe, I don't have the right time, so in the meantime, while everything else is happening, I'm still just looking for her book up until the point that I get the sign from Lakir, so...
Roll me a perception check.
1.
Natural one.
Natural 1.
Nothing's happening.
Okay.
It's cool. It's chill. You're vibing with some books. Okay, Blink. Were you looking for your own book?
Yes.
Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. Not 20.
Nice. Apparently, your character's just great at investigating things.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I actually have -1 in intelligence, so
Really?
yeah.
That's crazy. So you find your book. It is right where it was supposed to be. And with your book, you find 200 gold pieces.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
you can
awesome.
add that to your character. That's a lot. I stick with it. 200 gold pieces.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I meant to say 20, but you know what? 200. That's good. It's good.
So while I'm over there, like anticipating Lakira's signal, because let's say like at this point we haven't quite got there yet. I'm kind of looking around the area for something that would be a good distraction. So what am I seeing in that immediate area of that library?
So you see there's a large opening where you are, and as you look through the book, like as you peer through the hole that your book left, lots of the people who were sitting around the fire have gotten up and started to leave. And for whatever reason, like there's not a lot of people left in the library at this point.
Okay.
If you wanted to roll me a perception check, you definitely could.
Okay. I'll roll a perception check. Mainly just looking for something to light on fire as a distraction. But, I mean, like, being aware that people are leaving, something that wouldn't be, like, too overbearing, I guess, is what I'm looking for. 13.
With a 13, you look around you and you notice that you are in a library full of wooden bookshelves and paper books that are very flammable. You are also standing upon a carpet, a rug that seems very highly flammable as well.
Okay.
You also, as you're kind of just looking around trying to find something flammable, you notice a man with like a cyan, like a light blue bowler cap exit. He comes out of a seemingly restricted area of the library wearing this bowler cap, and he goes over to a cabinet, hangs his hat in this like coat rack thing, closes the cabinet, and leaves for the day, which you kind of perceive as odd.
Right. Okay. So he leaves his coat,
His hat.
but not his coat.
Not his coat.
Okay, so he just leaves his hat and bounces. All right, so that's everything that I really need to do right now. So I'll just be waiting the signal, pretending like I'm just looking at books or something, and ready to go.
Okay. Awesome.
Right after I give the signal, just out of curiosity, because my character would know this, I forgot. Is the book that I'm searching for inherently magical? Like in and of itself? Do I know that, or is it just containing texts relating to magic?
I would dare say it would probably just be... It'd be more of a textbook than it's like a spell book where it contains written spells, but the magic would need to be casted before the magic would be there.
Okay.
So not innately.
I will snap my fingers, and my find familiar fox will appear that would typically drape around my shoulder, and I will take him out, and I will say, I'll tell him the book that I'm trying to find for, and I'll just have him go search as well and let me know if he finds it, and then I'm going to go to the restricted section I had in mind and see if it's there as soon as I hear all the commotion.
Roll me an investigation check with advantage. And then roll me a normal investigation check for your familiar.
Okay. 17 for the one with advantage. Do I use my familiar stats, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea what a fox's investigation is, so we'll just say 8.
Okay. So you go to the restricted area, you look around at the books, and with a 17, you notice a place that seems to have had a book before that is no longer there.
I'll once again I'm starting to get more antsy because things are off and I'm starting to pick up on it all. And I'm going to, throwing all caution to the wind at this point, I am going to dead sprint to Tess's book, grab it, and then I'm going to run over to this area and see what I can find, all while coiling a message and pointing to them and saying, we need to leave now. And yeah.
I feel like this is funny timing, but so right about now, if you don't mind, I can just finish what I was. So, I did try to catch a bunny. I rolled a 2, so I just assumed I wouldn't get it. And then and like part of that is like I rolled a 2, but like I wasn't gonna try twice because Tess is just like not in the mood to like put effort into things. She's like, oh, couldn't get it. At this point, then I pick up the older bunny and I start walking in my normal spot, which to explain to people is ironically right next to the library because like the park is like parallel with the library in the city, and I walk right behind the library to the park, and then over by the fountain, then to the park, then over by the fountain. And so I realize I'm like right by the library. And I'm like, I'm probably worrying these guys for like no reason. So at this moment, I'm like walking into the library, or at least like about to walk in.
So yeah, you make it to the library. Lakir, as soon as your footprints start making a loud sound, Everyone go ahead and roll me initiative.
Yep.
Okay.
As the pages in the books start flying out of them, and before you're gonna see some monsters.
Cool.
Okay, everyone tell me their initiatives.
12.
8.
12.
I got 16.
Yeah.
So out of these books flies a bunch of empty pages, blank pages, and starts swirling into these two masses of huge papers, and they eventually take shape into very large paper golems, and they both let out huge roars. And as the three of you look around, you notice there are no more employees left in the library, and it seems that you may have been set up. But that is where we're going to end this evening's session. I am Cade, the host and game master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I am joined here by the players.
Mason playing Lakir.
Brooklyn playing Litsea.
Danny playing Tess.
Caden playing Blink.
Awesome. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you got to do is keep rolling. Be sure to follow our social medias. That's Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And go ahead and give us a podcast review if you would. It helps us get out into more people's homes, and that is just fantastic to share the D&D love. And if you don't have a way to give us a podcast review, share us with a friend, because that's another way to share the love. Until next time, we hope you have a great rest of your day.